The Baltimore Ravens get a B minus from me, and I think that everybody gets carried away and just gives A's like candy to every team that always takes a quarterback in the first round when every quarterback either has flaws or isn't perfect. And there are so many quarterbacks in this draft that had flaws that just giving each first round drafting team an A is quite ridiculous. I mean, maybe Cleveland is the exception because almost no one likes their draft. I will get to Cleveland momentarily, but if not, sometime in the future. But Lamar Jackson is an athlete quarterback. I'm sure that I get the feeling that he could find success in the NFL. But when he when he was an athlete quarterback who didn't run a pro style offense that was exactly like Florida State's under Jimbo Fisher or like Alabama under Nick Saban, he doesn't look like somebody who was intelligent enough or competent enough to be a top 10 or top 20 pick. That's just the reality. He'll just be viewed as an unintelligent quarterback who's not smart enough to overcome his tendency to run and thus can't memorize the playbook, throw from the pocket, and develop footwork from the pocket so that he could actually increase his longevity within the NFL. And look, pocket passers tend to last longer than runners, especially in the long run. And I say that because Tom Brady, Dan Marino, I get to Joe Montana. They all lasted more than 15 years because of how they dropped back, as opposed to just getting forward and running. I mean, running backs have really short careers because of how much contact that they endure. I mean, you're pretty much having half of a running back's life with plus a quarterback's life, if not part of a pocket passer's life and part of a running back's life, and thus your career becomes shorter when you are an athlete quarterback. I mean, I don't think that it's like an intelligence issue, but it should be a durability issue. And if Jackson limits his number of runs and finds second and third reads when he drops back, then he will find success and beat the odds. I think that the two tight ends, Hayden Hurst and Mark Andrews, in the first and third rounds respectively, I think that it's a little bit interesting. It's just that Baltimore has never really run a two tight end offense, and I think that when people think two tight ends, they think that everybody will try to have their offense, be like Gronkowski and Hernandez before Hernandez went to jail and died. Um, but it's just like a morning wag, the offensive coordinator there could be trying to have a Zach Ertz, Trey Burton type of tight end offense. Could be especially considering he worked with Doug Peterson under Andy Reid in Philadelphia right before Chip Kelly had arrived. I mean, Hurst, it could be he could have some Hernandez-like features where he lines up in the backfield and even takes it on jet sweeps. Andrews is like a stand-up wide receiver, tight end. It doesn't really block well, but he has good enough speed to get the job done. Orlando Brown Jr. is going to the last team his late father played for, Orlando Zeus Brown Sr. And obviously the younger Brown is going to have to get into the weight room, and he has to follow Marshall Yanda and Ronnie Stanley by example, especially considering that those two are still great offensive linemen. Yanda might be getting older, and he might be entering his last year in the league, but I think that if Brown works himself, if not You know, make sure that he does uh, with Yanda, like what Michael Strahan did with Lawrence Taylor, like what Terrell Owens did with Jerry Rice, and a lot of other like younger guys who either are taken under the wing of a veteran, or maybe just emulate a veteran, and maybe into a degree like how Aaron Rodgers had emulated Brett Favre, except without those interceptions. But when Orlando, if Orlando Brown, constantly does tries to do everything, if not work as hard as Marshall Yanda, he's going to be a really good player for the Ravens for sure. Uh, I mean, I'm not really optimistic about the outlook for them in 2018. Maybe they could turn around some skeptics' mindsets and maybe be the upset AFC North winner. It's just that when Terrell Suggs is getting older and there's age along the offensive line with a guy like Yanda and a struggler like Flacco, it doesn't look really good. And this quarterback controversy, you can't exactly help. You have to have one guy. You have to have one plan. If they do, they could do well. But I mean, like a team such as the Arizona Cardinals, this is the team that we have to truly evaluate and look at 2 years down the road rather than this year, next year.